Aquarius, let us talk about the second half of November 2025 and what it is waking up in your life and in your mind. If you have Aquarius as your sun, sign, your moon, your rising, or your Venus, this message is for you. You are the visionary of the zodiac in your own way, the one who can stand outside the usual rules and see patterns that others miss. The first half of this month may have felt like standing on the edge between old systems and new possibilities. You might have watched certain structures around you wobble. Work structures, relationship expectations, group dynamics, plans you thought were fixed. It may have felt like people around you were reacting emotionally while you were trying to stay rational and see the bigger picture. Even so, there may have been a quiet restlessness under your calm, a sense that something in your own life wants to change, an inner itch that says, this version of reality is not quite big enough anymore. Mid-month is where that feeling starts to crystallize. The energy shifts from just observing what is broken to asking what you want to help build next. You are not being asked to throw your whole life into chaos. You are being asked to notice where you have outgrown your old roles, where your ideas have evolved but your habits have not yet caught up, where you are still playing along with rules that do not match your truth. The second half of November is like an inner update, new software for your soul that helps you run more of your life according to your own code instead of everyone else's expectations. In love and relationships, this update is especially noticeable. Aquarius is often described as detached, but that is only half the story. You feel deeply. You simply need space to breathe and to think clearly. You need a sense of equality. You need connection that does not swallow your individuality. The first half of this month may have revealed where your current connections either support or clash with those needs. If you are in a relationship, you may have seen tensions around time space, communication, or future plans. Perhaps your partner wants more closeness, more certainty, more traditional moves, while you are still testing possibilities. Perhaps you have been keeping some of your true thoughts to yourself because you do not want to rock the boat. Maybe you have quietly adjusted to your partner's emotional style and left your own needs for intellectual and energetic alignment half expressed. The second half of November asks you to bring more honesty to the table, not as an attack on your partner, not as a cold list of complaints, as a gentle reveal of your inner truth. You might say, I need more room to think before I decide, or I need us to talk about our vision of the future, not just our routine, or I love you, and I also need my individuality to be respected. When you share from that place, you do not come across as distant. You come across as real. This period can actually strengthen your relationship if both of you are willing to adapt. Your partner may appreciate finally understanding how your mind works and what you need to feel safe and engaged. You may realize that you can have closeness and freedom if you design the relationship consciously together instead of defaulting to standard scripts. You could create new rituals that fit you better, maybe more honest check-ins, maybe more solo time for each of you, maybe shared projects that let you grow side by side. If your partner resists all of this, if they insist that love must look only one way, or that your needs for space and authenticity are selfish, that is important information mid-November does not force you to break anything. It simply shows you the true terms you have been living under. With that clarity, you can choose whether to keep accepting those terms or to slowly move towards something that fits your spirit better. If you are single, the second half of November shines a bright light on how you approach connection. Aquarius energy often attracts unusual people outsiders, rebels, thinkers, artists, tech minds, people who do not quite fit the mold. You may be drawn to mental sparks and shared ideals more than traditional romance. At the same time, there can be a pattern where you keep a certain emotional distance. You often understand other people's struggles, but may feel that few truly understand you. Now you are ready to refine that pattern. You might start by asking yourself, what do I actually want from partnership at this stage of my life? Not what I am supposed to want. Not what I wanted 5 years ago. What feels true now, maybe you want a companion who shares your weirdness and your desire to make the world better. Maybe you want a partnership based on friendship. First, passion. Second, maybe you want something open and flexible. Or maybe you are surprised to find that you want something more anchored than you ever thought you would. Whatever the answer is, it becomes your new filter. You are less likely to entertain situations that are interesting but not aligned. The charismatic person who keeps you guessing but never shows up when it matters. The connection that lives mostly in messages and fantasy but not in real life support. The on and off story that always pulls you back into the same unresolved dynamic. The second half of November invites you to step out of loops like that and into clearer choices. Love for you now is less about drama and more about resonance. Does this person feel like a co-conspirator in living a meaningful life? Do they respect your mind and your boundaries? Are they curious about your world rather than threatened by it? Do they share at least some of your values about freedom, kindness, and integrity? Your heart and your nervous system will answer long before your logic does if you listen. Friendships and community are also highlighted. Aquarius is the sign most linked with networks, community, and the collective. You can be the one who brings people together around ideas and causes, yet you can also feel like the outsider even in groups you helped create. The first half of November may have shown you where you feel truly seen and where you feel like you are performing a role. Mid-month asks you to reassess your circles. Which groups energize you? Which leave you drained or frustrated? Where can you speak freely? Where do you censor yourself to avoid conflict? You might notice that you have outgrown certain spaces. Perhaps the jokes do not land the same way anymore. Perhaps the focus of the group feels shallow or repetitive. Perhaps you are tired of being the one who always introduces fresh perspective while others resist any change. You are allowed to shift your social orbit. That does not mean suddenly cutting people off. It can mean gradually investing more time in communities that inspire you and a little less in ones that hold you back. It might mean connecting with people who share your niche interests or your vision for the future. It might be an online group, a local meetup, a creative collective, or a cause-driven project. The key is that you feel mentally alive and spiritually aligned when you are there. Now let us turn to work, career, and purpose. Aquarius energy often thrives in fields that involve innovation, technology, social change, alternative thinking, or unique systems. You may be drawn to work that improves life for others in some way, even if it is not always obvious on the surface. The first half of November may have stirred questions about whether your current path truly fits your values and your need for autonomy. The second half of the month encourages you to zoom out and look at the system you are currently participating in. Does your work environment support original thinking or punish it? Do you feel like a collaborator or like a cog? Are you free to experiment and bring new ideas? Or are you constantly editing yourself to fit into a rigid hierarchy? You may feel a rising inner urge to align your daily work more closely with your ideals. That does not mean quitting everything overnight. Aquarius is a fixed sign. You are built for long-term change, but it does mean getting honest with yourself. Maybe you begin by carving out more time for a side project that expresses your real vision. Maybe you explore roles that give you more independence within your field. Maybe you start talking to people who are doing the kind of work you secretly dream about. Mid-November is about opening doors in your mind first, so you see that more is possible than the track you have been following. Work-wise, you may also feel called to improve group dynamics. You are good at spotting dysfunctional patterns in teams, gossip, poor communication, lack of structure, decisions made without transparency. You might feel the urge to quietly introduce better systems. Clearer communication channels, fairer ways of sharing information. You could become an agent of positive change simply by offering smart ideas at the right moments. Financially, this period invites you to think creatively. Aquarius is not always interested in traditional ideas about money, but you do care about freedom and security. The second half of November can bring insights about how to structure your finances in a way that supports both. You might think about diversifying income streams, or changing how you budget to align with your real priorities, or teaming up with someone trustworthy on a project that could benefit you both. You are also being encouraged to examine any rebellious patterns you may have around money. Sometimes Aquarius energy rejects ordinary financial planning because it feels boring or restrictive, that can lead to swings between over giving to others and neglecting your own stability. Mid-month is a good time to experiment with viewing money as a neutral tool to support your ideas, rather than as a symbol of some system you dislike. When you treat it as a resource for your future contributions, you may find it easier to handle the practical details. Underneath all of this, your inner world is shifting in subtle but powerful ways. Aquarius lives in the realm of mind and energy. Your thoughts are often ahead of your circumstances. You can see where things are going long before they arrive. That can feel lonely. It can also lead to mental overload when you are constantly absorbing information and analyzing the larger picture. The second half of November invites you to create more space inside your own mind. That begins with noticing how much of your mental energy is spent on things you cannot control, the choices of the collective, the behavior of large institutions, the opinions of people who are not actually in your life, the endless stream of news and data that never rests. You care about the world, but you are only one person. You are allowed to choose where you plug your attention in. It may help to limit how often you scroll or consume information and increase how often you sit with your own thoughts without outside input. Even short breaks can recalibrate you. 5 minutes of breathing at your window, a walk without headphones. Time spent simply looking at the sky, Aquarius, needs moments where your mind can stretch out without being bombarded. In that space, new ideas and deeper clarity about your own path can emerge. Emotionally, you may notice waves that you usually explain away with logic, sudden sadness, irritation at systems you cannot fix alone, a feeling of being different or distant even among people who love you. Instead of immediately turning these feelings into theories, you are being invited to actually feel them for a moment. To admit that being the outsider can hurt, that seeing problems clearly without easy solutions can be exhausting, that you too sometimes wish you could just switch off and not think so much. Allowing those feelings does not make you weak. It makes you more human and, paradoxically, more effective. When you honor your emotional body, your nervous system relaxes and your thinking becomes sharper rather than fuzzier. You can then choose which causes to engage with and which to release instead of reacting from secret burnout. Your intuition is strong now, especially through sudden insights. Aquarius intuition can come like lightning, a bright idea that appears fully formed, a sudden understanding of someone's true motives, an odd yet persistent sense that a system is about to change. The second half of November encourages you to trust those flashes more. Write them down. Act on the ones that feel grounded and repeat themselves over time. Share them with people who can appreciate them. Spiritually, this period is about reconnecting with your sense of being part of something larger than any one person or group. That might be the collective consciousness, the web of life, the future of humanity, or simply the network of people whose lives touch yours. You may feel drawn to practices that blend spirituality with ideas, astrology, tarot, numerology, symbolic systems, meditation apps, group rituals, anything that lets you explore patterns and meaning. You might also feel the urge to combine your spiritual interests with your desire to help others. That could look like sharing tools that have helped you, or holding space for conversations that are usually considered weird or fringe in your circles. Or simply being a grounded presence who reminds people that change is possible even when things look stuck. As the second half of November unfolds, you may notice that you are slowly choosing from a deeper place. You may pull your energy out of certain social dramas that used to hook you. You may stop explaining yourself so much to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You may give more time to projects and relationships that feel aligned with your future self rather than your past self. In love, you may feel less tolerance for emotional games and more desire for clear communication. You might find yourself telling someone directly what you need instead of hinting and hoping they guess. In friendships and community, you may be drawn to people who share your desire for growth and authenticity rather than only sharing history or convenience. In work, you may start outlining a long-term plan that reflects your real ideals and your need for freedom. Remember that this Aquarius mid-month reading is only one part of your full picture. To really understand how November is moving through your life, listen also to the horoscopes for your sun sign, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. Your rising sign often describes the outer themes and events on your path. Your moon sign reveals how you experience those events emotionally and what you need to feel safe. Your sun sign speaks to your core identity and what keeps you feeling alive. Your Venus sign shows how love, money, and connection are flowing and changing for you. Now, put together, they give you a much richer map than any single sign can provide. You can also listen to the signs of the people who matter to you, your partner, or the person you are thinking about, your close friends, your children, your family members, even co-workers you interact with all the time. Understanding what they might be going through energetically can make their choices less confusing. You can see that they too are dealing with their own lessons and pressures. That awareness allows you to offer compassion without abandoning your own boundaries. When you are ready to go beyond a general horoscope and into more personal guidance, you can visit MysticBolt.com. There you will find tarot card spreads designed to help you make decisions in love, work, money, and life direction. You will find astrology tools that let you explore your chart in more detail and understand your patterns more clearly. You will see a growing collection of spiritual and divination apps created to support you through turning points like the one you are in now, so you have something solid to lean on as you grow. For now, Aquarius, take a breath and let this truth settle into your mind and your heart. You are not here to just fit into broken systems. You are here to help imagine and embody something new. The second half of November is not about tearing everything down at once. It is about quietly choosing the ideas, people, and paths that match the world you actually want to live in. One clear thought, one honest conversation, one brave choice at a time.